Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Star Wars because what the hell else are we going to talk about?
Oh, well, because, this one, though, when I saw this, I had to send it to you.
So we're going to see a lot of this, and we're going to see a lot of this for a lot of different reasons. The media is very, very salty about the Rise of Skywalker because, in part, it has walked back a lot of the decisions in The Last Jedi. Not very well, but it made an attempt to try to win back the fans, i.e. try to win back dollars, which,
the money,
again,
yeah.
It's not doing very well.
But I thought it was just a vocal minority of people who didn't like The Last Jedi.
It's a vocal minority. So now that the shoe is on the other foot because these media outlets spent the last 2+ years attacking Star Wars fans, outright attacking Star Wars fans for not liking The Last Jedi, not liking the decisions made, not liking the actions and attitudes of Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy. Now they're going to defend their right to not like the Rise of Skywalker.
Right, because, they're allowed to have an opinion. And it doesn't make them a hateful, terrible person, unlike, everybody else.
Right. And there's more to it than that, though. There's more to it than that. There are a lot of Star Wars articles being written with such interesting titles as this one. You can go look for that one yourselves. And part of this is because outlets like this are dying. Mm-hmm. They're dying. We talked about Collider the other day with deciding to change it up with its video format, which is failing miserably, by the way. They're losing thousands and thousands of subscribers every day.
Yeah.
And we've talked about some other media outlets just folding all together. And this article is on Gizmodo, which is formerly part of Gawker, which was sued into oblivion by Hulk Hogan, of all people. And it got bought for cheap by this other outlet, Geo Media. But they also own Jezebel, Kotaku, Deadspin. We're going to talk about that. There's a reason that the clickbait must flow. These in the salt and the clickbait. Yeah. These journalists need to keep their jobs. So we will talk about that. Before we get into it, we want to keep our jobs.
That's right.
So we're at 88,000?
Yes, we're over 88, guys. Less than 12,000 more to go.
It's like Back to the Future.
And Squid King's getting excited as well. So
he is getting excited.
So please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Subscribe for me, subscribe for Squid King. And subscribe for Pinky Boo too, because she'll feel bad if I don't mention her as well. Make sure you subscribe, please, or like it or share it, or any of that helps. We appreciate it. Make sure you're still subscribed, because we keep hearing from people, even yesterday, that they were subscribed and they dinged the bell for notifications, and it was like taken off.
It's probably because of that Ricky Gervais video.
Oh, yeah, that got demonetized even though we didn't say anything or do anything wrong.
Yeah, anything to do with Ricky Gervais yesterday was like, it was just caustic, and I think YouTube was in freak out mode, and the video kept, the official video from NBC kept appearing and reappearing and disappearing and being pulled down or whatever throughout the day on YouTube. I don't know what's going on, but I think somebody at YouTube or somebody at NBC is in full-on freak out mode.
So they're just flagging everybody.
They're just flagging everybody.
So
Anyway, let's talk about another freak out over Star Wars, because The Rise of Skywalker walked back a lot of the decisions regarding The Last Jedi. The media is not happy because they look like fools. They've spent 2 years.
That was their favorite movie. Well, let's be honest, a lot of the people are younger that age. That is the participation trophy age. So, everybody could be a Jedi. What do you mean?
And Broom Kid's never even mentioned. You all want to be Broom Kid. Broom Kid's not mentioned. And they yanked the participation trophy out of their hands.
I can't talk to that either. It's not just,
I know. We didn't have enough coffee. I had like a vat of coffee this morning. I don't know what is going on here. So this is coming from Gizmodo. How a Star Wars fan learned to stop worrying and accept not liking The Rise of Skywalker. We kept saying, we're still fans of Star Wars, but we don't like The Last Jedi. That wasn't,
and it's like, you have to learn to accept that you didn't like something. I mean, I get the feeling. I walked out, I didn't really care for The Force Awakens either. So the whole new trilogy, I've kind of walked out of being disappointed and being like, what the hell? And, I had to deal with it, but I was told immediately that there's something wrong with me. I was a bad person if I didn't agree. So this author's like, for the past few weeks, I've been telling fans who love Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker that I was happy for them. We've done that before, too. We said, hey, if you like it, happy for you. I mean, we don't want people to be miserable.
No.
That's only part of the truth. The full truth is, I'm happy they found enjoyment in this film. Yes. but I'm also filled with jealousy because a lifelong Star Wars fan, I absolutely did not like the movie, and I really, 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 really wish I had. Sorry, I embellished.
Okay.
He went, and he liked it, so he hated it so much he went to see it 3 times. He went to see Rise of Skywalker 3 times.
But he hated it.
Because he kept going back to see if he could find something that he could find something because he had the unsettling feeling of not just dismissing, but actively disliking a piece of something you love is disheartening. No kidding! You don't say!
Unsettling feeling of not just dismissing, but actively dislike.
It's difficult. It's difficult. No! You don't say!
It's a sign of maturity. It's a sign of maturity, not...
Oh, it's a sign of maturity if he doesn't like something.
If he doesn't like it.
And then he understands that it's difficult. It's a sign of maturity. But for everybody else, you're just a bunch of man-baby trolls who you have to cry, on your own because how dare you not like something Star Wars? What's wrong with you?
Not even 40 years of Star Wars fandom can stop an unbiased opinion.
You know what? I have 40 years of Star Wars fandom, too. Didn't stop my unbiased opinion, but the difference is you were allowed to have yours. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, so still the way I see it, or I'm trying to see it, is here's a movie about something I love that I don't love, but that doesn't, okay, he is more mature than we are. Because in our case, in a lot of people's cases, they're like, well, we're kind of over Star Wars
Well, in
now.
your case, I still like the original trilogy, and I like The Mandalorian quite a bit. So
Well,
I'd say more you than me,
I
by
do
your
too.
own admission. Because I keep saying, what I kept saying about I love in the original trilogy, and I still love things about Star Wars, you're like, I don't, and then The Mandalorian came.
Okay. So the purpose of this article is to show people the right way to hate. Because he says, here's a movie about something I love, I don't love, but that doesn't change my feelings about the franchise overall. Maybe the movies aren't what's changed. Maybe it's me.
No, it's the movies that change.
It's the movies.
Quite frankly, they're
the
nothing
movies.
like the original ones, so that's not you. But anyway, I guess there's a lot of people that are you then. So then for context, you have to understand that we have to go back to 99 when he saw the Phantom Menace in the theater 9 times because he's got to make sure that you understand he's a bigger fan than all of you.
I only saw it 3.
I'm just saying. I saw it once. I'm just saying.
That was enough.
I saw it once, but I read all the books, and I, have a character named after me, but whatever. I'm just saying, this goes back to that tweet that was from like a week ago where people were like, unless you did all these things, you're not a real Star Wars fan. Which, let's be honest, the list was ridiculous.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
And I'm sorry,
That was
do you
ridiculous.
like a Star Wars film or a show or a book? If the answer is yes, you're a Star Wars fan. That's just the way it is. But, to make sure you understand why his opinion is better than your opinion and why he's more mature than you have to understand that he saw the Phantom Menace in the theater 9 times when it came out. And I remember it clear as day. So do a lot of people. And then he was like, when they had the underwater scene with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, he's like, I had a sinking feeling, wait, what is happening? But I ignored it. So I loved the movie, went back time and time again. The hype and joy of Star Wars brought me back. And then, but he's going on, but by viewing 4 or 5, I started realizing that, he started realizing that he wasn't like that much into it. But here's the thing. That's what everybody's been feeling this whole time. And you've been being people like you have been being dicks to them.
The Sith have taken over Lucasfilm, and you've got this uneasy feeling, and you can't quite put your finger on it, but something is wrong.
And the thing is, yeah, pretty much. And the thing is, like, when I saw The Force Awakens, my first words were, what the hell was that? I said, to as you can attest,
yeah,
I didn't sit there and think that I had to love something because they said it was Star Wars. Did I want to love it? Oh my God, you have no idea how much I wanted to love it. I was so excited. I bought the tickets, even though I scraped together every little bit of money I had just because at the time, Kneon had been laid off, and I was doing some shows trying to make some money, and it was so important to me that I was so excited. I scraped together all this money, and I got tickets early, and I surprised the kids with tickets, and we were all so excited. No one wanted to love it more than I did, and I walked out of it like disappointed, just like what he's talking about. But instead of lying to myself and going to see it a bunch of times, I was honest with myself from the get-go, and then I got so much crap for saying what I thought about it, which now is the accepted way to talk about it. It was basically New Hope all over again, which I said day one, and you would not believe the amount of crap I got for this. And I was really hopeful that Last Jedi was going to be good. I was like so disappointed. I'm like, okay, Last Jedi, we're going to start into something new now. It's going to be awesome. And then I walked out of that even worse than with The Force Awakens.
I literally walked out of The Last Jedi angry. Because I actually felt like I kind of got hosed too, because I defended The Force Awakens.
Yeah, he did. We disagreed on it.
We disagreed on The Force Awakens. I'm like, no. I think it was okay. I understand why they did what they did.
I understood why they did it. I just thought it was kind of a cowardly way.
Yeah, I mean, it was, but I was kind of like, okay, I get it. We know how the Disney marketing machine works. They wanted a sure thing.
Yeah, we understood that.
Let's see where it goes. And there were all these fantastic fan theories. I was watching channels like Mike Zero and all that, and I'm like, man, this movie's gonna be really good because we've got Luke back. We're gonna have Luke and Leia together, and even though Han's gone, it's okay because it's gonna be good.
Everybody was hoping that he wasn't really dead. Remember, they're like, oh, he didn't really die. They never found the body.
Yeah, but we also knew Harrison Ford wanted out. He wanted out in Jedi, and they brought him back. It's like, okay, it's understandable. So Han becomes a rallying point. Luke and Leia go on, and they're not going to kill more than one of the leads off for shock effect. They're not going to do that. So Luke and Leia are going to be fine. They're going to be fine, and this trilogy will be okay yet. They had to kill Han because we had to have a motivator. Mm-hmm. Hell no, this trilogy exists just to kill off.
Let the past die. Well, that whole movie existed just to kill everybody. Let the past kill everybody from the original show off. Let the past die. Kill it if you have to. I mean, they flat out told you that right from the get go. Well, of course, he saw it 9 times. So then he goes on to see Attack of the Clones, and he was hooting and hollering at the first screening. But with the force of subsequent screenings, I sat there waiting for those moments. Ditto with Revenge of the Sith, and basically, I didn't really care for, he didn't care for the prequels. So he's like, on viewings 2 and 3 of Rise of Skywalker, I did that a little bit. It's cut and dried. And he goes on about this and blah, blah, blah. Who cares? And then, so he talks about every single moment of the movies.
Well, 86%.
This is a very wordy
because
article.
They get paid by 86% of audiences consistently loved this movie. What's wrong with him?
I don't know. Yeah, it's obviously something wrong with him. There's always something. You're obviously an ist of some kind. Of course, just about every Star Wars fan is having their own opinion after their viewings. Oh wait, now you're allowed to have your own opinion? You weren't a month ago.
I remember when The Last Jedi came out. People were talking about it months later, and the media was telling them to shut the hell up, get over it. The movie's over. Get over it, you man babies. You're not allowed to have an opinion.
It's all misogynists don't like strong female characters who don't like it.
And it was the media. Media outlets like, maybe not him in particular, but outlets like Gizmodo.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he's written
comic book resources.
I recognize the name. I'm 100% sure he's written stuff. Well, remember they were calling people incels living in caves? And trolls in caves and stuff, the different media outlets.
Months and months after The Last Jedi. Even leading up to The Rise of Skywalker coming out, Star Wars fans were called names. They were not allowed to have a differing opinion. Now, here he comes.
Oh, wait, no, he's going to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Get ready.
Okay.
Of course, just about every Star Wars fan is having their own opinion after their viewings, and navigating opposing reactions has become an eye-opening piece of my post-Rise of Skywalker experience. You mean you didn't have anybody disagree with you before Rise of Skywalker? Then you haven't been on the internet, because a crap ton of people did not like The Last Jedi.
No, they're just traveling in the circles where they tell each other.
The block bots kept everybody from telling them that The Last Jedi sucked. After my negative review of the film, I never thought I'd encounter people challenging my Star Wars fandom. Holy shit, dude! We get challenged all the time. How dare you not like The Last Jedi? You don't I got told I fundamentally didn't understand Luke Skywalker. I got called names in Spanish because I was clearly a misogynist, as I didn't like Rey.
Yeah. Wow. So the shoe is really on the other foot now, isn't it?
Oh, but he addresses this.
Okay.
It was a revealing glimpse behind the curtain of what my friends and colleagues who aren't straight white men on the internet have had to deal with on a daily basis.
Oh, wait. So instead of saying it's, okay, this is how,
yes.
Let's rewrite your sentence.
I knew you'd love this.
Let's rewrite your sentence, because it should have been, it was a revealing glimpse behind the curtain of what my friends who didn't like The Last Jedi had to deal with on a daily basis. But no, we can't say that. We have to say, it was revealing. We have to bring. You can't
even rewrite it that way. They're talking because I didn't like Rise of Skywalker. He's comparing it to people that are his friends that aren't straight white men on the internet and what they have to deal with every day. His not liking The Rise of Skywalker is equivalent, according to him, is equivalent to racism, homophobia, misogyny. That he had what he had to deal with for not liking Rise of Skywalker is he understands now, because that's equivalent to racism, misogyny, and bigotry on the internet.
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is, dude, you need to dial it back and say it's the same as not liking this other movie and not the same as being brown or a woman or LGBTQ or whatever.
Surprise! Not everybody who didn't like The Last Jedi were straight, white, or male. I know a lot of people who weren't any of those things. I'm not man. I am straight and white, but I'm not a man. I know a lot of people who aren't straight, white, or male, or straight and white, or aren't, white, or whatever. There's some people who don't like it. It is not boiled down to this whole straight white men. That is not what it boils down to.
This reminds me of, okay, speaking of the Ricky Gervais thing, because, well, we're not speaking about it, but I'm going to speak about it now, because these media outlets, and a lot of these commenters, how they boil it down to this black and white point of view. Because when I put the Ricky Gervais video out there yesterday, we had a comment talking about, like, all these MAGA hat wearing, blah, 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 Trumpity Trump, Trumpity Trump. And I'm like, Ricky Gervais is a liberal atheist. He doesn't even like the president. And they think that in such black
he's not
and
American.
White, yeah, he's not even American, so he doesn't give a shit. But it's in such black and white terms with these people. Like, well, if you hated The Last Jedi, therefore you must be straight white male who voted for Trump.
And when people like me, challenge that, like, well, I'm not a dude. I got called internal misogynist, and when I pointed out their misogyny and telling me as a woman what I should think, they then turned around and started calling me foul names in Spanish. And I think people reported them for harassment, because they were harassing me and calling me foul names in Spanish, because I pointed out to them that me not liking the movie does not make me a misogynist, and nor does it make you, nor do you have the right as a man to tell me what to think as a woman, according to your own definition of misogyny. Anyway, but this guy is even worse. He's equating his not liking the Rise of Skywalker and people arguing with him to what it's like to be on the internet if you are not straight, white, or male. I'm like, dude.
Isn't that so far removed from being an actual progressive, where you're saying that not liking a movie and getting trolled for not liking a movie is the same as, I mean, how much privilege are you taking for yourself?
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I was to say that's even the same thing.
And it's been eye-opening, and people are questioning my fandom. Dude, people like you have been questioning my fandom since The Force Awakens because I didn't like it. Clearly there's something wrong with me, and I've been labeled, I've been called names, all this other stuff. Same with She-Ra. People like you have been the ones telling me, a woman, that I am an internalized misogynist who hates strong women. I guess looking in mirrors is scary for me, because I disagree with your opinion of a TV show or movie. It's
important to realize gatekeeping is bullshit. Yeah.
No kidding. You just now realize that?
These media outlets are the ones who have been gatekeeping. They keep saying that they're trying to open up fandom to everybody, but what they're doing is they're actually deliberately baiting and pushing away existing fans for existing franchises, calling them names, pushing them away, telling them they're awful, getting the movie studios in on it, to troll the longtime fans, driving them away in droves and telling them you're no longer wanted. Isn't that a form of gatekeeping?
Yes, it is. This is all gatekeeping. They've totally been gatekeeping since these movies started. If you don't like, they have been ones saying, if you don't like these movies, you're not really a fan. If you don't like these movies, you are this name. They're calling people names and bullying people, trying to belittle them into agreeing with them, which is bullying. And now they're like, well, now I don't like this movie. Oh no. Now I know what all my friends who have to deal with racism every day feel like. It's like, no, it's not even the same thing. Anyway.
It's so that right there, I mean, look, you want to talk about how these media gatekeepers, how disingenuous they actually are. Like, they can't even see their own hypocrisy. They can't even see that they are actually the ones making racist comments, making garbage comments. They're the ones gatekeeping.
This gets better. Then you step back and think about that reaction. Someone who asks that kind of thing is pretty much just looking to argue. Says the people who write the articles calling fans names because they didn't agree with them on a movie. They generally don't want to know your opinion, nor do you authors.
Block bots, turn the comments off. They don't want your opinion.
He was so isolated that he didn't hear a different opinion than his own until the Rise of Skywalker, when all the people who like Last Jedi, were in agreement with him.
Well, no, it's because all these media types, they all hang out in the same circles and they all share similar opinions. So, of course, he probably did. Or you just mute somebody who disagrees with you.
That's what it is. A lot of these people are like, I went to go look at their Twitter feed and I'm blocked. And I don't even know why, because I don't even talk to them. I've never talked to them. I've never done anything to them.
Star Wars Explained. I don't even know who these people are. I have never watched their channel. And apparently they're like a big deal on YouTube. I don't know. I've never watched their channel. And I went to go check out their Twitter. I've never once interacted with them. I'm blocked. I think I'm blocked because I might follow a couple of Star Wars YouTubers they don't like, but I've personally never had a problem with them. But even they were like, you know, we saw the review they did for Rise of Skywalker, and it was the same thing. They spent all this time defending Disney Star Wars, defending The Last Jedi, only to sit there disappointed.
And then say, I thought there was a plan, but there was no plan. And we're like, we've been saying that for years.
That's all people have been saying. Now, have people taken it too far and gotten into name calling and all that? Yeah. But you know what? The vast, vast majority of people are just like, hey, this isn't good. There's no plan. And the people behind the movies need to stop attacking the fans, baiting the fans. And the journalists need to stop attacking the fans, baiting the fans. But whatever.
So it's like, they don't want your opinion. They want to prove theirs right. And that is just silly. Says the person who has written articles about The Last Jedi takes it to a fantastic new level and goes on about how much he loves The Last Jedi. Many, many, many times. He's tried several times. I knew the name because I've seen articles before. I can't find them specifically, but I know he's taken on before people who didn't like it.
Yeah, well, this article is written by a guy who worked for IO9, which I don't even know if IO9 is its own thing. This is on Gizmodo. They basically are phasing out the IO9 brand. Mm-hmm. All of the articles that used to be IO9 used to be its own separate website, part of Geo Media, Gawker Media, whatever, and now they're just rolling everything into the top level Gizmodo
domain,
website.
Yeah.
They don't have their own logo anymore.
Well, he's like, everyone and everything is different. Nothing is universally beloved. How come there was no excuse for anybody that didn't like The Last Jedi? But now that you don't like The Rise of Skywalker, well, people are allowed to have their opinions. Why weren't they allowed to have their opinions, a month ago? I just, I'm going to remember and live with Rise of Skywalker over the years.
You're gonna live with it.
It's a movie. And that's what you keep telling everybody else. You can't have an opinion. It's just a movie. It's not for you. It's for kids. It's not. It wasn't for you. It was for children. I personally thought disappointed it gave Star Wars fans plenty to discuss and debate. Long after I'm dead and gone, my hypothetical grandchildren and their friends will be debating if Rey Skywalker makes sense or it's a cop-out. I highly doubt it. I don't think people are going to stick with this Disney sequels long enough to care.
I think there might be some iteration of Star Wars, but I think that the sequels, they're going to be dead and buried within the decade. I really do. I don't think they've got the staying power.
Under to step over it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, save for this movie and the Clone Wars movie, I basically loved every single thing the franchise has put out. Well, good for you. I even like Solo. We did too. It's like, because you didn't like this, you're allowed to have an opinion now. You know what I mean? Before that, you were just, man, baby, troll, racist, haters, whatever, by people, writing these articles. Not necessarily this author, but people like this author.
Yeah, here's the last sentence. Oh, God, this is so infuriating because these people just... And again, I don't know if he specifically was out there attacking people, but I know IO9 was part of it.
And I know for She-Ra they were, too.
Yeah. Just because I disliked one movie doesn't change my fandom. I'm still a Star Wars fan, and I always will be.
Right. How about everybody else who didn't like The Last Jedi and were told that they weren't Star Wars fans because they didn't like The Last Jedi? Why? Because they just liked the movie. Why were they suddenly no longer a fan? Not necessarily by this author, but by the people in general. If you didn't like The Last Jedi and love it and you understand that it was a genius level piece of art, you didn't fundamentally understand Luke. You weren't really a Star Wars fan. You're just a bunch of hater troll man babies who are just trying to bring down the fandom. And there's a lot of nice people in the fandom who like The Last Jedi. I just love it. You're allowed to have an opinion when it's the one that they agree with.
God. Jezebel, also part...
this was funny, though.
Yeah, but this is also... Okay, and this is in the greater context of things. Jezebel is also part of Geo Media, formerly Gawker, Gizmodo, that entity that also has Kotaku. So we're going to look at this ridiculous article, some of the ridiculous comments, and then we're going to talk more about what the hell is going on with these outlets.
It wasn't even an article. I think it was just something they posted. This is funny, though, because we took so much crap for saying the same thing. Did you happen to notice the new Star Wars features horses galloping around in deep space? They are not in deep space. They're obviously still in the atmosphere. And they're not even horses. And they're not space horses. Oh my gosh, so much crap we got. Then one of their own starts saying this. It's so funny. Surely at some point in making this movie, someone must have pointed out that horses, which in the Star Wars universe, as in ours, breathe oxygen, would be physically incapable of galloping along the surface of a destroyer as it hovered some 20,000 miles above the surface of...
Exegol. You think?
Yeah. And then, so the comments of this for Gloria's, we said something similar, and we got in so much trouble for saying it. This is the second post I've seen with this group of websites that says pretty much nothing, yet talks about Star Wars. Did a general order go out to the authors to write something, anything about the new Star Wars movie? To which I believe.
Sorry to say, this was 100% Slack. So they're on Slack because a lot of journalists use Slack to communicate with each other behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. So their editor told them Star Wars is trending. Write something, anything. You have to say about something. Star Wars, even if it's bullshit like horses on a spaceship.
And they got called out for it.
They got called out.
And it's funny though because here kind of they come. Those ships were clearly still in the atmosphere. It wasn't the whole point of the scene. Wasn't that the whole point of the scene? They couldn't ascend out of the atmosphere without guidance or whatever. And people were like, going nuts. And then she's like, okay, but what altitude could Space Horse even still reasonably breathe? Higher than they were, clearly.
Oh my god.
Those aren't space horses. They are a species called Orbaks, native to the desert planet of Pisana. And we have no idea of their biology. Also, the fleet appears to be at a low altitude jump point since they are relying on transponder towers to guide them.
Oh my god.
This is me. Sorry, Mom. Oh, fuck. You got me. Exactly. That's how we were.
Clearly, Molly here has no interest in writing about the Rise of Skywalker anymore, but she's being told she's got to write about the Rise of Skywalker.
And then she's like, "Oh, you showed me because I didn't know that they were, what planet they were from and everything else."
So I think what's going on here, I love this is the best thumbnail I've ever seen.
This is still the best title.
No. I think they did put a mandate out on Slack to tell everybody to write the most clickbaity Star Wars things you could.
That image though.
So we get, again, within a 24-hour span, we get this Palpatine doing the dirty article, we get horses on a spaceship, and we get Jermaine here coming out and saying he didn't like the Rise of Skywalker for the umpteenth time.
But that's okay because he's a real fan, and he's been a fan for 40 years, so it matters because it's him.
Even though YouTubers have been saying this for years and they were dismissed. So what's actually going on here? I have a theory. They're all part of Geo Media, Gawker, decided to unionize. I think they unionized, but they're laying people off. In fact, and this is kind of like Collider too. They just lay people off with little to no notice because digital media, a lot of these news outlets are no longer sustainable. This just happened. New Year's Eve. We're sad in the beginning of New Year at Geo Media without Victor Jeffries, who had been there for a long time, employee who had served the company in all its iterations for years. The decision to dismiss him on New Year's Eve and deny him or his colleagues a chance at closure was callous. Collider did the same thing.
Yeah, it is kind of crappy to do that on New Year's Eve, personally.
It is. Collider gave everybody an hour's notice that they were cutting all those shows loose.
That happened to you. Day before Thanksgiving once. You worked for a place for 5 years.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
They laid you off the day before Thanksgiving?
Yeah, because it was the end of their fiscal quarter. And that's what happens, is whatever the company's fiscal quarter is. But they said this guy was the backbone of the company. Morale and culture were extremely disappointed in management's cowardly decision. Okay, so this is Geo.
Okay.
Cowardly action. Well, it was a decision. But they're laying people off. Collider laying a bunch of video people off. Geo, Gawker, Gizmodo laying people off. I suspect there probably are more people being laid off than what is being discussed. I'm hearing that BuzzFeed, people are being laid off from BuzzFeed, but they're not broadcasting it because BuzzFeed has already taken a black eye, and the advertisers get nervous when they're like, oh, we just laid a bunch of people off.
But how do we know these things? Because people that work there come and tell us.
That is the truth. People do tell us. Now, Geo Media, again, which owns these websites writing about horses on a spaceship, they also own Deadspin. Deadspin, famously, a couple of months ago, told its reporters to stick to sports.
Yeah, because that's what the site's focus is.
Right. Now, they got political, but the new owners who bought Gawker, they bought Gizmodo for cheap, very, very cheap, said, look, this is supposed to be a sports site, talk about sports. We don't need to talk about politics on the sports site. We have a politics site for that.
But they're not wrong. And that's the thing. All these blogs originally had a focus, and now it's all about politics. Whether you're right or wrong, whether, it's not even about what it's supposed to be about anymore. Because, you go to a site about sports to read about sports, not to read about sports with your political views because you're using it as your soapbox. And that's what's happening more and more on these media outlets. So I don't blame them for saying stick to sports.
Yeah, and I think the same thing is going to happen with these pop culture sites where they're going to be like, stick to talking about Star Wars. Okay, this is ridiculous. Let's do horses on a spaceship.
And they put the most that image clearly it was just they didn't even care.
Troll, yeah.
But it's hilarious.
It's that I have Molly.
It.
I will give you props for what could possibly be the best thumbnail I've ever seen. So we're getting these ridiculous articles, and the clickbait's going to flow until it doesn't anymore. And what's really happening is kind of what we've been talking about, that these digital media outlets, the ones who've been attacking the fans for so long, they're no longer sustainable. The advertisers are running away from them. The reason they hate YouTubers as much as they hate YouTubers is single YouTubers or small YouTube groups can generate as much advertising revenue as these well-funded outlets. And it's 100% true. We saw Collider had like 6 million video views last month, but just John Campea by himself had almost as many.
Right.
You know, and so it's not sustainable. And these places have these big offices and the salaries, and they want to unionize. And you know what's going to happen if they're telling you to stick to sports? They're going to tell you, hell no, you're not getting a union because we can't afford it.
Yeah, we saw the same thing with Kickstarter too. They were on a union, and there was no reason for a union at Kickstarter. You know what I mean?
No, because it's not sustainable. And so what's going to happen is they're going to find ways to cut costs, or you might get your union, but you're only going to have a handful of people who are unionized doing, you're not going to be doing a lot more work because they're going to have the set hours, but they'll just sell the company or something.
Or they'll find a reason to get rid of you.
Yeah, they'll find a reason.
In some states, like our state, it's a right to work state. They can get rid of you for any reason, union or otherwise. They can get rid of you. You can fight it if you're in a union. Doesn't mean you'll win, but like they could just not like your haircut that day and say it's because you didn't do something for work, even if you did, and get rid of you.
Yeah, well, the one company I worked for was actually I worked for a newspaper. Remember those?
Yeah.
They were on paper. And all the guys in the press room wanted to unionize. And what the boss did is he sold the company because he didn't want to deal with it. So he sold the company, and a lot of those guys wound up, and I'm not saying I agree with the decision, but they kept pushing. They refused to print the paper, and he just sold the company. And he's like, yeah, we'll print the paper someplace else.
That's what they did.
And that's what they did. He sold the company, he kept the newspaper, and then he outsourced the printing to another company and was like, I'm done with it.
It was a really crappy thing to do.
It was a horrible thing to do.
But, you know,
the way he did it was garbage.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. The way the laws are set up, they can just step over you anyway.
Yeah.
Whether right or wrong, I mean, that's just the way it's set up. So.
Yep. And also I want to know, why is Party of 5 coming back? Is this like 90210?
Oh, you didn't know about this?
I didn't know about this.
Okay, so they're bringing Party of 5 back, but instead of their parents being killed in a car accident, they're Hispanic and their parents are deported.
So it's not a sequel.
So it's a reboot, but it's basically using the whole. They're trying to use
the wall
so basically, you know, Freeform doing what they usually do, which is, you know, put political statements up on a show and disguise it as.
I'm sure it'll get 9 seasons.
I didn't really watch Party of 5 the first time, so I really don't care. And honestly, I don't watch it because I'm so sick and tired of them rebooting everything.
Yeah.
So I'm not watching it.
Well, 90210 lasted like one season.
I'm just sick and tired. I'm just like, and now they're bringing back Saved by the Bell and everything. I was like, would you please stop? And they've already found a way to make that a political statement too. I'm not even going to get into it.
Yeah, just Google who's starring in Saved by the Bell. And
it's like it's just for F's sake, make new things. Just make new things. That's a whole other video though.
That is a whole other video. So I guess wrapping this one up, we're going to see a lot more clickbait because I think these journalists. Jobs basically are on the line at this point. And I want to be clear, I'm not taking delight in that. You know, I don't want anyone to be out of work.
No, never.
But, you know, digital journalism right now is a very shaky industry to be in. And just because you have a journalism degree, it doesn't mean that you're owed a job.
You're entitled to it, something.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people don't understand that. It also doesn't mean that just because you work for a place like Gizmodo, that means it's your personal platform to spew whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Activism topic you want to make today, because if it doesn't fit the site, it doesn't fit. If it fits the site, go for it by all means. But if it doesn't fit,
or if the site changes direction because they had to sell it to keep it alive because it was hemorrhaging,
go build your own soapbox someplace else.
Your own site,
if you want to do that. But that's hard. So most of them don't want to do that. Yeah, it's just this whole thing. And I mean, and the good news is now, apparently, that if you don't like Rise of Skywalker, it's okay. It's not liking The Last Jedi is okay. You're allowed. They have now said that you are entitled to your opinion now that they have a differing one than other people. It's now allowed because they say so.
So now it's cool to hate Star Wars.
Now it's cool when it's you know, them.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about being picked on anymore. I know, but they're going to still do
whatever. Whatever. We're going to wrap this one up.
Yeah, it went really long.
Yeah, so please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.